Hello everybody. Hello. There I am. Hey everybody, it's me, it's Andy. Decayed Andy. It's Moonbase 2 day today, where I talk about the Transformer news of the week. There is no Jason. There is no Brad. There is no Mikey. There is only me. Again, I did try to rope in people this week, but everybody was busy and things got all higgledy-piggledy, as they tend to do. So, it's just going to be you boys stuck with me. How unfortunate for you. Again, as I click away there. It was just like last week, where unfortunately I didn't have anybody to join. And this week, well, we're right in the same barrel of fish, but we do have Transformers news to talk about. Not a huge amount, but let's get that ball rolling for the week and hope for something very sensual. And let's have a good converse, you and I. We can talk about all of the fun things. Though I haven't done a huge amount during the week. I'm sure we can have a little natter about some good bits anyway. Right? Yes, I'm sure we can. I'm just getting a few things set up for the most part, and then we can get the show rolling, as we tend to do. Is everything working? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure we've got all the news stories, because there aren't many. Boo-doo-boo-boo-boo. I don't need that on. Yes, save that. And I don't need two Twitters open. Jesus, what am I, crazy? Am I crazy? Am I taking crazy pills? Perhaps. All right, okay. Let me put my headphones on as well. And then, let's roll some motherfucking music. Let's go, boys.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, the lovely little glob of shit on the bottom of your shoe. We're here this week to talk about Transformers. What a surprise. You're shocked, I'm shocked. I've been doing this for, nearly 15 years? Who would have thought we'd be talking about Transformers yet again? Where are the boys? The boys betrayed me. There are no boys here. There's nobody, just little old me. So hopefully you can come on the journey of the week and we can have a little talk about what's been going on. Granted, not huge amounts happened, but let's kick off the snowball of truth as it rolls down the mountain of sadness and ends up in the shallow sap, the shallow basin of the week or something. I don't know. Maybe there's something more profound there. I don't know. We do. Hey, hello to anybody as well watching on Twitch or YouTube. Much appreciated. Thank you for coming on in. We have just started, so let's talk about New Age toys. This week they showed off. So they showed stuff off last week, as you probably remember. This week we have the H45 EXR Firefox. So that's the Skyfire. This is another Skyfire. This is the EXR version, which is a limited run of the same figure. The difference is it has a pearlescent paint job, so it's kind of shimmery whitey plastic. To me, it seems like this kind of shimmery white plastic is something that could be scraped or damaged fairly easily. But if you wanted your Skyfire to gleam like an angel in the skies, this seems to be more of the way to go. To me, again, it seems like a disappointing repaint to me, as in there's not much to it. It's just a little bit more metallic-y. Saying that, there'll probably be a translucent version at some point, as is the way of New Age toys with their repaints. Apart from that, it really doesn't have anything different to it. I don't think they will, because they'd need to create their own color scheme for it, but I would like them to do a crazy G2 color scheme that's off the wall. Doesn't make sense because there isn't one. That's what I would like. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't know what else they could do with this mold. We had the standard version. We had the Macross version. We had the Shattered Glass version. We've got this version. So that's 4. Unless we get a translucent version, which I think is the easy choice and kind of in line with what they do, that would make 5. I don't think they do any other ones. If they did, maybe they'd go for a few more of the Macross designs. Like, I don't know Macross, don't get me wrong, but if you just swapped out the red on the Macross figure that they released, if you swapped that out with yellow and added like a tiger or a shark decal on the front of the nose cone, you know, that would probably be enough to be close enough to the thing, right? Close enough to the thing. G2 sideswipe, the other G2 sideswipe, the blue and green one. What do you mean, Orange? What do you mean? For this, I think this is it. I don't see anything else. Unless you're saying it could be done in G2 sideswipe colors, which would be weird. I'd want crazier ones. How about we give him the, how about give him the Python Patrol color scheme? So you have, what's the main color? Like a red gradient over, red and black gradient, and then you have a Cobra scale red lines kind of printed over the top of that. That'd be kind of nice with a bit of yellow here and there. Would it be ridiculous? Yes. Oh, the GoBot one. No. Their sideswipe. I don't know which one that is, I'm afraid, Orange. I'm afraid I don't know that one off the top of my head. I'm unaware of it. But Jetfire here. Yeah, I guess it's fine. It's just another one. There's nothing too fancy about it. If you've already got the standard white one, I'm not sure it's going to be enough for you to get another one. Color him like Energon or Cybertron. Yeah, they could do that. That's another way to go. Like your burgundies and your whites. Yeah, you could maybe do something like that. I don't think they will, though. I think this might be the last one for this mold, unless, like I say, we get a translucent version. If we do, I could see that. Otherwise, Skyfire might be done. Which is fine, because, you know, they've milked the mold enough. And you know, I'm not going to talk a huge amount about what I think the shiny pearlescent material on it, because like I said, I think it could be easily scratched, as this is paint, so it's on a toy, so it's one of those things where since it's painted plastic, it's more likely to be scratched. But yeah, pearlescent, there you go. That's what I've got there. Next up is the Cang Toys Dinobots / Volcanicus. We've got an update in renders for the boys. Hang on, what does this say? This Cang Toys highly stylized take on the G1 Dinobots, similar to the style they used. Oh, that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, the previous release was Thunder King, which was the Predacons. This is their new selection, which, like I say, is the Dinobots going into Volcanicus. I'm pretty sure I saw on Twitter that Mikey said he was pretty happy with how these guys turned out. They remind me, they're not exactly the same, but from the silhouettes, they remind me a little bit of War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron designs, you know, very big and henchy. But they've got some nice style to them. Grimlock has the dinosaur head on his shoulder, which is a nice bit of difference looking there. You have Slag with the back of the Triceratops head where it usually goes, but the more horn, what would you even call it? The flayed part behind the horns. They're using that to kind of give him almost a wing silhouette, which is quite nice, even though he doesn't have wings. Snarl has his tail split, as it usually is, but they've managed to curve it up. Oddly enough, I actually thought, when I didn't look at this very closely, I wondered if they'd added in like a stag design or like a moose design, you know, with the antlers from behind, because that's the kind of silhouette it gives off, just because of how turned up they are. I'm sure there'll be posability, so you can probably pose the tail how you like and have those parts on his back displayed as you like, but it's an interesting look. Scorn's been put in there as well. He's next to Grimlock. There's not a good shot of his dinosaur mode. I'm guessing he's like squatting down a little bit, because he looks quite short compared to some of the other ones. Generally speaking, though, an interesting take on the Dinobots. You know, they look nice. They are just in black and white. They are just in standard grey prototype colors, so hard to really get any kind of idea of the color placement on them. Maybe it's not criticism, but something that stands out is Swoop is very, very big. Swoop's a lot bigger than usual, right? He's got some big, thick legs. They're not really wide. If you look at them front on, they look slenderish, but as they're deep, I suppose you might say. They go further back than I would thought they would do, so it kind of makes them look a bit more stocky than what I think a Swoop should be. But his pterodactyl mode, yeah, that's all right. I'd like to see his wings spread. They've got him so he's in the classic kind of pterodactyl. He's on all fours with his hands down on the floor. You've seen Jurassic Park 3. You know it's a better movie than The Lost World. I do too. Shut up, Mikey. Yeah, solid looking designs. Nice different take on them. Might be nice if you get these to add a cape to Grimlock. I think the design would be suitable for him to have a little cape on him. I think that'd be nice. Nice little addition to the thing. I think the heads are very stylized, but because it's not a great image, it's kind of hard to tell how good these are going to be. I would imagine a completely stylized take, but if you want a new version of the Dinobots, you know what? Actually, looking at Slag, they have a little bit, at least to me, of the Last Night. Do you remember the Last Night? How we got a load of Dinobots who weren't in the movie, and some of them who were, but then they just kind of recolored them into like strange and wiggy colors. That's kind of what Slag reminds me of. Scorn as well, but that's kind of where Scorn was born. Is Swoop? I guess Swoop maybe is. I don't remember Swoop too well from the Last Night movie, but yeah. If you want an idea, maybe this is kind of movie aesthetic, but cleaner. All right, the Last Night Dinobots, but cleaner. Maybe that's a good way to phrase it. I don't know. Either way, they're there. They're looking all right. We don't know anything else about these guys, but I would imagine they'd be on the same par as the Thunder King. If you like the Thunder King, I think they've started coming out now. It's Thunder King, right? I'm sure he has. If you like Thunder King, there's probably a good one to go for. If you like your Dinobots, and we need another. Is Volcanicus just like now a thing? Like all Dinobots are always going to be Volcanicus? Is that how this works now? For the most part. Obviously, Studio Series, they're making it more like G1E, so they don't combine. But it feels like whenever I hear, oh, there's Dinobots, I guess they're combiners now. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, hey ho, hey ho. The big story of the week, I suppose you could say, is HasLab showed the official color renders for the Deathsarus, as well as colors of his boob friends, his breastmasters, and his weapons. The living death metal chewer boob gun and the flail as well. So, and his chair. They've colored his chair. His chair kind of reminds me of, what would I say it reminds me of? It looks a bit like a black pudding, right? Black pudding. It looks a bit like that. But if you had like a jam center, or a brownie with jam in the center as well, a little bit like that. That's the kind of color consistency it has. Though I do not recommend that you put it in your mouth and you chew it, as it's plastic, and it'll probably do some bad stuff for you. But yeah, the chair looks good. The base is colored silver, and it's got a little bit of techno detail on it. No, maybe not enough. Maybe you could have a little bit more plates to it. It just seems like a lot of grooves cut into it, which is fine. It's just like it's a base. I shouldn't complain too much. But the chair still looks really fancy. I think that looks solid. The flail, we have a burgundy handle with a, I guess, gold chain. Is that what it's meant to be? It's probably meant to be gold or yellowy kind of plastic. Hopefully, do I want it to be gold? It's probably safer to be yellow plastic, right? Probably safer. Mildly interesting thing about it, which I don't think I've mentioned is previously, the handle has a little peg groove, so it looks like it'll peg into his hand, kind of like how old Masterpiece toys. Actually, do the new Masterpiece toys have the peg? Maybe they do. I can't remember. Either way, it'll peg into his hand that way rather than it just being like a friction kind of deal. Living metal gun. We're going for black, purple, and again, more maroon, burgundy kind of color. Looks nice. Looks better than I thought it would do. But it's just a goon. It's just a goon from the show. We have the Boob Master, the bird one. Nice and red. Yep, all the colors in the right place, from what I recall. Looks nice. Very flat, as this G1 version was as well. But, it's the little bird boob, It's what you would expect. I imagine the posability is going to be fine. I want to know if the wings will be able to bend upwards, because when we see him in bird mode, if you imagine the wings, if you're not watching the stream, if you imagine the wings in this pose are just like stretching out your arms, there's no like bend to them or anything like that. I wonder if you can bend them further up, so it makes it looks like it's about to push its wings down to kind of launch itself up. Or is there the joint that stops you being able to do that? Does it lock you out of being... You can fold them inwards, but can you fold them upwards further? I don't know. I think that'd be interesting to find out, just to give... it would stop him looking quite as flat if you did that. Because when he's just got his wings spread out, he looks a bit old, like an old school toy. And, if you're paying this much money, which a lot of people are, I think he's done pretty well. I think a little bit of extra wing pose is not a huge ask. I don't think. We see the lion boob in bow mode. It's not doing a huge amount extra. It seems like you can flip up something that allows the arrow to get slotted in for a pose, which is fine. And it seems like the golden blade wing tips have a joint on them to let them slide open. Again, a little bit more just to give a bit more of a bow feel. Not completely, but fine. Not crazy. The dog, again, looks a little flat. It looks very similar to the original G1 figure, just with more joints and stuff. I'm not sure if that's what people want, but again, the colors on it are what I would expect from this kind of update. And big chicken mode. Big boy chicken mode. Interesting that... Again, we've gone for, I guess, a toy accurate version where they gave you stickers for the robot side of the wings. So when he's transformed into his robot mode, you have the Decepticon insignia with the red parts on there. But for the bird mode, we don't have any kind of red on the wings, which I'm pretty sure is accurate off the top of my head, but I can't remember. Again, looks solid. The neck looks a little bit unposable. I don't know how posable it's going to be when you get that head going. I think you'll be able to move the head up and down, but how twisty will it be? It looks like there's maybe a cut around the base of the neck for like a twist, but it looks like it might look a bit. I don't want to say nasty. It won't go smoothly because it looks like it might be two squares stacked on top of each other. And if you twist the squares, obviously you're gonna, not have a smooth motion to it when you twist. It's going to break the mold look, if you know what I'm saying. Hopefully you do. But yeah, again, giant chicken mode looks nice. They've got the colors. Pretty much, the colors are what you would expect, where you would expect them. I don't think it's doing anything too crazy with the paint job. It's just kind of standard. I guess if you put this out at retail, it would be missing a lot of paint apps. Probably. But it looks like it's got all of them that you would hope for on these renders. So I guess that's good. But again, for the amount you're paying, that's probably what you should be doing. If you wondered on the backers, we have 22 days left and we have 9,000 backers. 9,348 backers as of this recording. They need 11,000, so they're pretty much there. It's not going to be too much longer to get that. I think I've convinced myself not to get him. Pretty much because I could get a third-party figure of Deathsarus for around this price point. And I think arguably it's going to be better quality than this. I guess, again, like I've said before, I think the resale value on this will be a lot better than a third-party figure. I can almost guarantee that. But I think the better quality figure would still be the third-party one. I don't know how rampant the issues were on QC for Star Saber Wars. If anybody in chat knows, let me know. Because I did see a few stories go up about bad paint apps, some wonkiness here and there, like scuff marks on the faceplate for Star Saber. Was that a big issue? Because I still don't think, if I recall, I think there's a story about distribution for Star Saber going out to the UK soon, or it's happened. Let me just double check. I mean, we're not on the schedule or anything like that. Here we go. Transformers HasLab Victory Saber shipping address confirmation emails sent by Hasbro UK. Okay, so good news for the fellow HasLab, Victory Star Saber backers in the UK. So we get screwed over as usual. And actually, I say we do. I wonder if Australia's had theirs yet. or if they're getting shafted as they usually do for Australia. Sorry, Australian fans, you really get the we get the second dips in. You get the soggy remains, you know. So someone gets a bite of the bread, then they drop it on the floor, then we get a bite of the bread, then we just throw it into the sea. And we hope it goes to Australia okay, and then the Australians just kind of pick up whatever's left over. Either way, the UK residents seem to be getting their shipping confirmation emails. So I guess if there's an upsurge in more bad Star Sabers or Victory Sabers, I guess we'll find out whenever they come. The thing that again puts me off getting a Star Saber, a Deathsarus, is purely on the base that I got a Scorponok. I got the Earthrise Scorponok. It had a problem because it was missing a giant piece, and there was nothing they could do. They could send out no spare part. They said, "Oh, just send it back." And it's like, "Oh, is that it? You can't do anything else?" Nope, just send it back to Amazon. It's like, okay, well, and it kind of put me off. It kind of disheartened me because you can't really take it into a store or anything like that. It was just, no, screw you, too bad. So then, obviously, I just didn't bother. It put me off getting anything that big or irritating again, because it's like, well, if you can screw me over like this, why should I bother? And something with this kind of price tag on it, again, makes me go, ooh, you know, it doesn't make me feel good about myself. But that's not to naysay or neg on anyone that wants to get this figure. I would hope that when you get yours, it'll be very fancy and nice. I wonder what the reviewers, like the YouTube Transformer reviewers, are like on this. Well, not on this one specifically, on Star Saber, right? What are they like on him? I haven't actually checked to see what the vibes are on YouTube for the HasLab Star Saber. If people are liking it, people are not liking it. Let's HasLab Star Saber. Hasbro Plus has theirs. They might not have them yet. I'm not sure. What about Victory Saber? Victory Saber review. I don't care about unboxing. Who cares about unboxing? That's G1. I'm guessing people haven't got theirs yet. If anyone was to get theirs, it would be Prime versus Prime, right? Yeah, if anyone was to get their figure, it'd probably be Prime versus Prime. And I don't think they've got theirs. I can't see on the good old YouTubes as of yet. So, yeah, okay. It's good. I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty... I'm not going to blame reviewers for wanting to do reviews on this guy, but it's going to be pretty shitty for a lot of people. It's like, oh, hey, here's a figure. This is a really good figure. You should go out and buy it. You can't go out and buy it. You missed your opportunity because you didn't back it on HasLab. Tough tits. Screw you. That is one of the nagging points of this kind of release as well, isn't it? It's like, he's a really cool thing that you cannot own because it's not available for anybody to buy. But that's the nature of fundraising stuff, I suppose, isn't it? That's the pill you got to swallow. You got to be like, okay, I'm either going to go in or I'm going to have to accept I might miss out on a good figure. And I think I'm going to have to accept I might miss out on a good figure. And it's a shame because, like, this would be the thing that would get me. But man, I gotta be thrifty with my money, boys. I'm not flush with cash. I can't go out and buy every Transformer from the Legacy line, as well as nearly £200 or dollar. No, well, nearly £200 official figures as well. I just can't do that. I can't justify it. It's difficulty. Hello, XL Hedge has came in. Okay, a bit late, but the every Dinobot team being Volcanicus makes sense when you think about how Devastator's original rivalry. No, yeah, I agree, but I don't like that. It effectively started from the Beast, that terrible gathering. Was it the Beast? Yeah, it was called something like that. That came with the Transformers UK DVDs. And it feels like a fan-made thing. I like the Dinobots being a team, but being a separate team. I think it makes them a bit more unique, especially opposed to Devastator. While the Constructicons need to form to fight the Dinobots off, the Dinobots fight Devastator as a team. Like, they don't combine together. They're individuals to the end. I kind of like that idea behind them. But it's, at the end of the day, it's a marketing tool. We get to make another combiner. Does it look good? Yeah, I don't know. I think that obviously third parties can generally do a better job at making combiners because they have much more of a budget and they can price their figures at what they like for the most part. But neither here nor there. Deathsarus, colored images, they look like you'd hope them to look. He's coming, and people are going to get him sometime like a year from now, I think is the idea, right? 365 days, maybe we'll be talking about it again, and I'll be going, fuck, I didn't buy it. Or I'll be going, hey, I got the Mastermind Creation one. Who fucking cares? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. The future will tell. Either future Andy will hate past Andy, or he'll be very thankful. Either way. I decided to throw this one in because we got to see the first news story, or the first in-hand images. Is it from Prime versus Prime? It is, of course, it's from Prime versus Prime. Jesus Christ. First in-hand images of Deluxe Needlenose. Good old Needlenose, the Needly boy himself, who I really only care about from the G1 toy rather than his comic book appearance. I was kind of iffy about how it looked like he was going to transform. Again, his vehicle mode. We've got some very tactful like shots of his vehicle mode when we see it. Let's get some more images of that vehicle mode up. How would we show it? Oh yeah. Every image that they've put up from Prime versus Prime are kind. I'd say this is probably the worst one, where you can see a lot of obviously the undercarriage. You can see that the legs do the splits. Right, okay. The best way to describe it, if you haven't seen it, get your legs. And you know what cheerleaders do when they can lift their legs all the way up to the head? And you're like, damn, girl, that's sexy. Right, do that with your other leg. And then get your feet to kind of do a pray together, like above your head. That's kind of the pose they're going for with how the legs transform for the jet mode, which is a bit on the It's that adherence to being G1. But, man, I'd still get him because I like Needlenose, but it's still got this kind of rough look to it, I think. From the top, looks good. From the top, he looks nice and clean, if you know what I mean. It's as soon as you look underneath, not so nice. A little bit on the rough side, at least from my point of view. Robot mode looks a lot better, though it looks like he's got a really deep joint, like hinge joint for his foot. I'm trying to think how to best explain it. Usually you'd have a ankle joint in the center of the foot, right? The tilty back and forwards. If you want to put that kind of forwards and backwards ankle motion, imagine your ankle. Look at your ankle, and then if it's on your left foot, shift your ankle to the right side and then to the back of the heel. That's kind of the position for where the tilt up and down is, which is interesting. It does also leave a giant gap showing on the underside of the leg. He does have the very hollow thighs, which we talked about before on the show. But I think, looks okay from these images. I like the fact that the wings don't seem to hinder his arm articulation in robot mode. They have a little hinge to allow them to pose backwards, so you won't be having that arm hindered problem. I think that's a good idea. That's nice. It doesn't break the mold look at all. So again, nice. And Big Swing and D in the chat mentions he has a good head sculpt. Yep. Yeah, they've managed to get that off quite nicely. I'm mildly concerned how good the paint is going to be on it across the board, because I could see that being paint, and I could see either bleed through going through, because yellow paint's yellow paint is very mixed. I'm hoping there's not bleed through, and I'm hoping it's generally consistent. He's taller than Siege Spinister. Is he? I'm going to take your word for that, Orange. Do we have a side-by-side image of the two of them? Yes, we do. Is he taller? I don't know if he's taller. From the image that we've got of them side by side, it doesn't look like, from the tops of their little tips, the little horny tips, it looks... Oh, man. It looks like It looks like Spinister. As tall. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say they're about as tall as each other. Yeah, he's not taller. They're about the same. Sorry, I misread that. Yeah. He does. I tell you another benefit. He doesn't have the goopy paint damage all over him, which is nice. Yeah, it seems like he's the consistent size of what Deluxes are these days. He's smaller than the Voyager Shockwave. From what was it, Siege? Oh god, was Soundwave actually Voyager or not? I can't remember. But yeah, he's around what you would expect him size-wise to be. I like the fact he comes with both Target Masters. I don't really care that they can't move. I think that's fine. They've been painted correctly. I guess I'd like them to at least have joints for their arms, right? I'd like them to both have joints for their arms, even if it was just to swing them up and swing them down. They don't need to have the legs move. That's fine. A minor amount of head articulation looking left and right, and their arms are moving up and down, I think would be nice. I think that'd be nice. It's clearly not going to be the case, but that's fine. Not too chuffed about the cockpit hanging between his legs, but it's a cockpit. It's meant to be his peen, right? That's the idea. It's his peen. No, but seriously, that's part of the design for Needle Nose, generally speaking. So I don't mind that. Is it dirty? Yeah. It's like the aerial bots, right? The aerial bots, for the most part, have just planes hanging off their backs, for the most part. It's the same idea here. I can understand not loving it, but it's kind of needle nosy, so I don't mind. Love that it's the G1 toy with more articulation, and the Decepticon double target masters are complete with Spinister and Quake. Oddly enough, do I have Quake? I can't remember. Maybe I do have Quake. I'm pretty sure I don't have Spinister, though. I did... Oh, who did they redo Spinister into? Because I have that mold. They redid Spinister into somebody. Help me out, chat. Who did they redo Spinister into? Because I have that guy. Rotorstorm. I think I have Rotorstorm. I'm pretty sure I have Rotorstorm. I don't think I got Spinister. I tell you what's annoying about Quake now. Quake's the only double target master that doesn't have both of his target masters. You could say Spinister doesn't either, but Spinister's at least got two guns, even if they don't transform. Maybe in the future they can do a core class where they give you both target masters for the other two. I don't think that'll happen, but that'd be nice. Even the G1 cockpit has... even the G1 version has a cockpit that folds up his back. I'm pretty sure that's true, because I do have Needle Nose. TFU info. It's been a while. Again, it's been a while since I've actually looked at my Needle Nose. Needle Nose. Alright, well, that's no good. Okay, let's just go for the subgroup and target masters, and then I can check myself. That's trigger cons. I can't read. Target masters. I can't see it. Target. There it goes. Some reason I went clinically blind for a second. Misfire Needle Nose. I mean, looking at the original toy, we look at the original. Let's find a good image of Needle Nose just on his own. Looking at the original and looking at the G1 version, the toy, I think they've done a pretty solid job of getting him to look right. Can we get just a normal picture of him standing? There he goes. Yeah, if you go back and forth between the two of them, you're probably right, Big Swing. Indeed, the cockpit probably did swing further up the back of him, but he also had these massive, giant legs, which made it quite hard to see a lot of it anyway, to begin with, to be fair. Going back and forth, I think they've recreated it fairly well. I mean, you could be really pedantic and say he doesn't have the right colored arms. The original toy seems to have more lavender kind of colors rather than, I don't know, fancy, is it royal purple? Rather than whatever purple this is. It was way more lavender back in the day, but that's fine. I think this looks a bit nicer than lavender, just because it has a bit more of a striking, distinct color difference from the gray. The gray and lavender kind of mushed together a little bit closer. It's about as good as a version as we're going to get. Yeah, I think in this day and age, yes, that's true. I would have liked to have seen this come out during the kind of Generation University kind of time period, which is probably my favorite Transformers line, where they were trying to do takes on G1, right? So they weren't so adherent to, let's just make it G1. There was a bit more creativity at like, okay, here's something, let's make it like the classics. Optimus Prime is a truck, but it's clearly not a flat-nosed truck. It's their own take and his own little design. And it's still a really good, solid figure, even after all these years. He does have a bit of kiddly shit on his arms, but that's still a damn good toy. And let's be fair, like classic Starscream is still being used today with the Earthrise mold. It's just a little bit of an upgrade and a little bit bigger. It's still classics. It's crazy. Now if Hasbro can finish the the Scoops double Target Master Autobot team with Landfill and Quick Mix, that'd be nice to see. Yeah. How long ago was it that Scoop came out? Scoop came out during... Oh, it was the time... Oh, shit. It was around the Transformers Prime RID line, wasn't it? Because he was coming out with the comic books, right? Yeah, he was coming out with the comic books. That's right. He was one of the better ones, if I remember, from that era. And he actually did have his double Target Masters as well, which actually did have articulation. I think I've still got Scoops somewhere. I think the problem with Landfill and Quick Mix are both of them are pretty boring. I think even Scoop is pretty boring, right? Compared to the Decepticon Target Masters, I think the color scheme on the Autobot ones was a little bit more flat, a little bit more generic-y. It didn't have that oof to it. Like Quick Mix, he's beige and brown. Not a color scheme where you go, wow, there's an eye popper. Quick Mix was okay. He was red and beige or red and grayish beige. Still not like a whoa. He's not a centerpiece collection. I don't think they were quite as striking as the Decepticon ones, but if they wanted to do them, I'd be down for it. If we could get the full double Target Master teams, sure, why not? Let's go for it. Let's get them all out. I don't know. But then again, I'd like to get more of the Beast Wars stuff out, and I'm not sure when that's going to happen. I'm sure we'll get some in time as we get drip fed. Now, we have some good old Earthspark, news. We have the Spin Changer Optimus Prime with Robbie Malto in package images. Ooh. So I guess this is our first confirmed Robbie figure from the show. We don't see great images of him, to be honest. I'm wondering if it's going to look as weird and freaky as the Sam Witwicky from the movie line from all those years ago from the Human Alliance figures. For some reason, this Optimus Prime from Earthspark reminds me a lot of the concept, not the actual implementation, but the concept of, do you remember the Transformers animated Optimus Prime where you pushed him forward and his torso span round and round, and then he like opened up really slowly to be, transforming? It feels like a similar idea. I'm assuming that's what they're going for. It's spin change, so, or maybe the idea is you put Robbie on to make him transform. Robbie seems to go on a part of Prime's shoulder somewhere. It seems to suggest he's going to spin around and transform. Though it does say it's 12 changes, 12 steps. It's got some wide proportions. He's a big boy. I don't know, chat. Are we into spin Transformers? Are people like, ooh, spinning Transformers? That's for me. I'd really like to. People in chat, I know you're there. Let me know. Is this a figure that you'd buy? Because I imagine for this, these are usually quite big figures for the most part. So what, like $30 to $40 or pounds? Would this be something you want in your collection? I don't think even as a kid this would be for me, but maybe I'm crazy. This is for the super young kids. What's the age on it? 6+. I don't think as a 6-year-old I'd want this. This seems more like a 4-year-old kind of toy to me, but XL Hedge shortly before Combiner Wars And I feel they only had him so IDW could replace Scrapper for Devastator. I could see that. I could see that being the case. Big Swing and D, I'd buy it for my nephew or niece. How old are they, out of interest? Are they the legal age to play with this figure? Or am I going to have to send the police around to make them not allowed to play with these toys? Yeah, I don't know. As a kid, I think I'd be a little bit insulted to get something like this. This is Excel Hedge. No, honestly, I'm more into a Build-A-Figure set. Yeah, well, we can talk about them as well. As we got new stock images, and we actually got to see what the full wave looks like, but we'll talk about the individual figures first. They all come in the standard-ish kind of shape now that we're used to getting Transformers in. We have Bimblebee, which has a lot of fucking problems to it. We'll get to it. And he comes with one arm for Dr. Mandroid. Or I think I've seen Twitter call him Mansplain, which I was like, ugh, cringe, but okay. So, issues with Bumblebee. Oh, hang on. Big Swing and D says 7 and 5. I mean, I bought them other Transformers. I think it's probably okay. Well, I mean, you buy what you like, really. But I know if I was back in my skin as a child, it wouldn't be for me. But again, it's been a long time since I've been a kid, so what the fuck do I know? So, issues with Bumblebee. There are too many different shades of yellow. Aggressively bright yellows on this guy. Well, there's two kinds of yellows. There's a dull, let's call it a more, like, if you get butter, like, I can't believe it's not butter or anything like that, and just added a little tiny hint of orange, that's kind of the color spectrum Bumblebee's, like, legs, arms, shoulders, head are kind of looking at, while the torso is yellow, the kind of yellow that you'd want from Bumblebee. It's the nice, bright, yellowy yellow. And it's on his groin as well, so it's pretty much his torso is the right color, and then everything else on the figure is wrong. Actually, the color seems to be more of a less saturated version of orange that the Ark had. Like, if you get the Ark figure, throw an image of it into Photoshop and like desaturate it, it's probably a closer color to Bumblebee's like legs, guns, forearms, etc., etc. So it's like, makes it a little bit ugly. The shoulders again a little bit ugly. The shoulders are big giant car pieces, which are connected to the body with a really like thin, nasty looking gray piece of plastic. And then the forearms and the biceps, I should say, are kind of connected to those shoulders with a pin joint, which doesn't look very nice. The car mode looks good, though. Car mode looks like how you'd want it to be. Apart from, I know it's a sticking point for Mr. Brad, Mr. Gazillion, who we've had on the show before. He does have the tires that you have to push on, the button kind of tires where they lock on through the big yellow pegs, which kind of make the car look a little bit nasty. He comes with hard tops arm for Dr. Mandroid. Fine, whatever. His gun, oddly enough, looks like a little ship. I know as a kid, I would be using that more as a drone ship than it would be for a gun. That would be my play pattern. I'd have it fly around shooting Decepticons, pretending it was alive. But that's just me. Bumblebee seems not to be great, I would say. Little Megatron with his tiny, ugly-looking head. His fusion cannon doesn't look great. I think I've heard people say it looks better the other way around. It's a little bit hard to tell. He comes with a normal hand or arm for Dr. Mandroid. No elbow articulation on it. And I don't think there's elbow articulation on the hardtop head for him either. Now, chat, I assume you're smarter than me. Did the... what's it called? Macadam. Did the Macadam have elbow joints and knee joints? Because I think I remember it did, right? I'm pretty sure the Macadam had elbows and knees, but I can't remember offhand. So if that's the case, this Build-A-Figure is taking another step back, which is concerning, I would say, for the amount of money you're going to spend for it. Megatron turns into his little helicopter form, whatever you want to call those dual military helicopters, the big fancy ones. Stylized. It's fine. He seems a bit too small. He should be a Voyager or bigger, but That's the toy line. We have our repaint, which we talked about last time, which was Shockwave. He's been slightly colored differently. Looking at the box art, though, I don't know whether this means Shockwave will be in the show or not. But he does not look like the same model. Like, the toy is clearly this Cyberverse toy, and the CG render that they put on the packaging does not look like it at all. It looks like a Shockwave. It just doesn't look like the same Shockwave. You can tell this by the head shape. The head shape is very different. The eye is different. Even the little fins on the side of Shockwave's head aren't the same. The Decepticon insignia is more in a G1 position on top of his boob shelf. And his boob looks, again, a different shape to this shape. This shape being his Cyberverse shape. Shoulders are different, clearly. Yeah, there's a... This is clearly... Yeah, oh, yeah. You can see on the... Where, do we have close-up images of the... No, we don't have close-up images. But you can see on the packaging, if you're on stream, the Shockwave head is completely different from the figure that we are getting. This seems like a cheap move by Hasbro to use a deluxe figure from their previous line and sell it again. We thought that'd be the case, but I thought they might at least try and hide it a little bit more. But they don't. Somebody mentioned as well, it looks like Shockwave is going to be coming with one of the arms from Nova Storm. We don't have a close-up. Oh, no, there it is. There's a close-up image. People are suggesting that this arm is going to be the Nova Storm arm. It has the right colors, the right kind of shape. So, yeah, I guess the suspicion is Nova Storm is going to get hacked apart, or at least lose an arm. Big Swing D, I do look forward to seeing a more high-spec version of that Megatron design. Oh. This is probably all we're getting, dude. In terms of high-quality figures from the line, this is more than likely. I'll be happy to... I'm not going to say eat a hat because I don't want to eat a hat. I'll be happy to eat my words if they don't do exactly what they did with Cyberverse, because this is the same shit they did with Cyberverse. They went, here's the quote-unquote better line, and that was it. And everything, like most of it, was the cheap toys. Let me dream, dude. I gotta hit you with the brick of reality, my friend. This should be the line that's getting pushed, right? This should be the line that's getting the money behind it. This is the line that's on TV or streaming services. This is the line on in the eyes of kids. This is the line they should be pushing, because this is like, I want this Optimus Prime. Well, theoretically, the kids should be wanting this Optimus Prime, this Megatron, this Bumblebee. And the best they got are the kind of shitty, all shittier toys. I don't think it's unfair to look at these figures and say they are not as good as Needle Nose, right? They're not nearly as good. I don't think that's an unfair statement to make. I mean, let's get up a side-by-side, right? Where are the in-hand galleries again? Where's the in-hand gallery? Boo, 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 boo. I don't think I'm crazy by putting, like, the image of these two. Where it is. There he is. And saying unequivocally that more money is put into these figures than these figures. There's Shockwave. There's Shockwave. There's Needle Nose. Yeah, that's more than fair. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it. And this is why I continue to say that although Transformers are for kids, they are made for adults and designed for kids. The distinction being, this is the line for kids, right? But there's less money put into it. There's less engineering. It's a lesser product. So who's this for? Who's this for? Who is Needle Nose? If you are a kid, who is Needle Nose? I don't know. I don't read the comics. I'm 6 years old. Where do I even buy fucking comics? I'm 6 years old. If you're 6 years old, you're not picking up IDW comics. I would be shocked if you are. And even if you are, who the fuck's Needle Nose? Needle Nose hasn't been on TV. Has Needle Nose ever been on a show? I don't think so. And yet, we have this. We have clearly a better designed, engineered figure. This is designed for an adult collector. It's also made so people can pick it. It's made for kids to be able to pick it up and play with it if they it's just like, whatever, I'll get this. But the primary market, the primary aim here is to sell this to us. It's not to sell this to a kid. Because who the fuck is this? They don't know. I know Shockwave. I know this Megatron. He's friends with the Maltos Ranger. I can't remember her name. The wife. It's Bumblebee. It's the husband. It's the Malto husband's best friend. I know this Bumblebee. Don't know the other ones though. Haven't seen them. Nope, never in a cartoon. Yeah, that's what I thought. Big Swinging D. I wish Hasbro would like back up what they say. Transformers are for kids. Put the money into the kids show then. Because Jesus Christ, I mean, this has its own problems with still being a little bit stuck in G1. It definitely does. But look at this Cyberverse design. It's clearly Shockwave, but it's slightly different. It's slightly different. I might not love the Megatron, and I still think it irks a little bit close to G1 design. But it's still a new take. The head's different. He turns into this helicopter thing. It's different enough. Please put money into this. It's not going to happen, but I kind of wish it would. Either way, we get some more images of Twitch. She comes with Dr. Mandroid's body and backpack with extra little arms and the head. It's a ball joint head with a tilt side-to-side pin joint for some reason, which is a strange choice. I think we've talked about Twitch enough. I do think the drone mode looks pretty successful. But we've only got one angle of it, so maybe if I saw it in more angles, there'd be a bit more oof on it. The interesting thing, the main reason to put this in here, is that we see on the back the Shockwave we was talked about, and we finally saw the two last characters, which are Grimlock and is that Nightshade? No, why? Okay, hang on. I'm just zooming in. It won't let me zoom in, chat. It wouldn't let me zoom in. Hang on, let me completely ruin the image. It's not gonna work. I think it's Nightshade. Does it say on the back here? 3 new characters? It doesn't say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Nightshade. So, Grimlock, I think it's fair to say that Shockwave, Grimlock, and we know, spoilers, Nightshade, we know Nightshade. Gridlock. Did you mean Grimlock? XL? Is his name Gridlock on there? I can't tell. I think we can say at the very least these 3 are going to be in the show. Fair enough. We haven't got to see what Nightshade turns into, and these are just head renders. These aren't images of the toys or anything like that. But bada bing, bada boom, we're gonna get these guys. Fine, okay, yeah, sure. Grimlock will be a seller. Most people like dinosaurs. Anyone mildly concerned they'll repackage the Cyberverse Grimlock? I don't think they can, because that Cyberverse Grimlock is way too different from this more G1 looking head. But I say that, and they clearly didn't give a fuck about Shockwave when they put that into consideration. Hopefully Grimlock will get his own mold. Hopefully it'll be nice, and young Mikey will have another dinosaur to maybe buy or not buy. It is Nightshade. Thank you. It is Nightshade. I can't remember what they're all called. What the 3 new ones called? Nightshade, hashtag, and Pussy Magnet. Is that the last one? Is the last one called Pussy Magnet? I can't remember. Probably. I'm pretty sure it is. That was the big hench one, right? Pussy Magnet? Either way. Yeah, so he's the legacy, the Earthspark stuff. I'm looking forward to hearing how the quality control is, because I remember the Cyberverse stuff's quality control was a little bit floppy, which made me not want to buy any of the deluxe figures because they were as expensive as the current line. I also am interested to see if these deluxe figures are gonna each be £24, or what is it, $24? Yeah, $24. Are these gonna be $24 as well? Christ, I hope not. They probably are though, but hey ho. Hey chat, is there anyone in Earthspark that you're looking forward to getting a figure of for the deluxe line? We'll ignore the child line, right? Let's pretend that doesn't exist. Let's pretend that the really cheap, nasty line doesn't exist. Who from the 10 episodes of Cyberverse that we've seen so far do you want a figure of? I think the easy one is Shockwave. Soundwave, right? Soundwave has one of the better designs. He's neat. He looks good. He has an interesting vehicle mode. I think it'd be hard to replicate that in a deluxe figure, since he's a very thin, sleek stealth bomber kind of craft. I think having a deluxe figure turn from a big meaty robot to a very, very flat boy is going to be tricky, especially at the price points that we're working with at the moment, seemingly with the Earthspark figures. If you want to let me know, chat, who would you like to see? I think a lot of the internet would like to see the cassette bots as well, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Alita 1. Oh, yeah, Alita 1. I think a lot of people would be happy to see Alita 1. I would be interested to see them do RC, and if they could make that CG model not look terrible. Because I was hoping RC was going to look better. And I'll be honest, I'm up to date on Earthspark. And she does not look good, I found. She looks pretty gross. RC. Can we find some images of RC? Oh God, I hope none of these are porn images. Jesus Christ. Knowing the internet, I could go either way. Yeah, I found this design pretty... Oh my God, no, let's not go on there. I found this design, even in the show, to be pretty ugly. I thought it was just from the concept images that we saw. These ones, I thought, she doesn't look great. Maybe it'll look better in motion. It didn't. I did not find this design to look better in motion, personally. I thought it was pretty crappy looking. Also, she had a very similar personality to Alita 1, which I thought made it kind of not very distinct. RC's CG model super cheats. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh boy. It's a Beast Wars kind of cheating, isn't it? It just goes inside and magic happens. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Alita 1 from Earthspark, personally. I thought she was pretty bad. Swindle would be a good one to do. You do Swindle, you can do Hard Top. Easy peasy. But yeah, Earthspark figures, they're coming. They are coming, boys and girls. Is that really all the news that we had? I thought we had one more story, apart from the very top one. Are we really nearly diddly done? I think we might be. There was very little this week. There was surprisingly little. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the last bit of news, folks, is that Sue Blue will be attending TF Nation 2023. Which is August 11th to the 13th next year. If you want to go down to Birmingham, the Metropole Hotel. Hilton Birmingham Metropole Home. Is it the Metropole Home? Is that right? What if I put that into Google? Why does it say the Metropole? Is that a mistype? Homes for sale. I think that's a mistype. That's a mistype. I don't know why they put in home. I mean, some people might consider it home. I wouldn't. It's a hotel. Yeah, but it's going to be at the Metropole Hotel. It's Sue Blue. You may or may not know her. She is the voice of G1RC. I would say it's the least important thing that she's done, because she is, more importantly, a voice director, and she's been a director for a lot of stuff. Voice director for Beast Wars, Beast Machines Animated, Prime, and a lot of other stuff as well. To me, I think that is much more impactful than being the voice of RC, because she helped mold, the shows and the acting in those shows than just one character. So, her body of work is not just do the voice of RC, please. It's thank you for making the shows sound good and getting the right acting out, the talent that you had. So Sue Blue, she's going to be at TF Nation. If you're going to be going, you can go and see it there. I'm actually surprised they started advertising for TF Nation when we haven't had the mini con for the UK yet. I thought they'd kind of have that, push that hard, have that, and then worry about the TF Nation afterwards. But clearly they're just going, and that's fine. Whatever. Marketing is marketing, and I guess this is the bigger important show, and probably got to get the ball rolling on this one more so than the other show, which is probably just more of a smaller idea to garner more money, I would imagine. Exelhead says, do hope we see the other Combaticons and Bruticus in Earthspark. I'd say like maybe into the far future. I mean, if we want, we can talk about Earthspark. I'll try. Do we want? Okay, chat. Is it too early to talk about Earthspark and Earthspark spoilers? Because it's been a while since it. Well, it hasn't been a while. It's been like a week. It's been a full week since it came out, right? And the 10 episodes were fully available, at least for people who have the streaming service. Is it too early for me to kind of talk about it, or should I wait? Should I wait another week to hear other people's thoughts on it? Like another chat member, if Mikey comes back. Mikey was, I think, meant to be back this week, but I think he's diseased, so he's not here. Typical Mikey. Always getting ill. Should I wait until someone's back there, or should I throw out my opinions? We'll see. I don't know. But the 10 episodes are out. I see people are sad that the rest of the season hasn't been announced. We haven't had a release date for that. I don't know how long it's going to take for that stuff to come out, but I'll let you answer that question while I talk about what I've been up to this week. If you also have any questions for me, poop them over. And, we can have a little chat, a little poop. I would wait another week. That's fine, Excel Hedge. I wanted to have a confirmation. Yeah, because then it'll be 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 10 episodes for the most part. Most people will have watched it who were gagging to watch it. I'm not, super, gagging to talk about it. And if I can talk about it with somebody else, that would be good. I'll need to make sure that Jason's watched it as well. I'll have to punish him. So if you have any questions for me while I talk about what I've been up to this week, drop them in the chat and I can answer them. So, what have I been up to this week? Well, on... when was it? What day was it? I can't even remember. On Tuesday, it was my buff day. I did nothing, as I usually tend to do. And what did I get? Oh, a viewer of mine on Twitch, Pink, is her name. She sent me Stubbs the Zombie, a fun little Steam game, which I can bring up on Steam. I haven't played it yet. I played this back in the day. This is an old Xbox One game, a very old Xbox One game. Like, when I say it's an old Xbox One game, I mean like its big selling point was that I remember specifically on the on the box for it, it says using the same engine as Halo. I was like, oh my god! And you can tell it uses the same engine as Halo because there's a few vehicle sections, and it feels like you're driving the Warthog. It's the game concept is it's kind of set in the 40s, the futuristic 40s. Your girlfriend has been taken. Who's a normal person. You're a zombie named Stubbs. You want your girlfriend back. So how do you get there? Well, you chew the heads of people and turn them into zombies, and you and your buddies try and go and save your girlfriend. You have a few abilities like spleen grenade. You can pull out your spleen and throw it, and it explodes. You can pull your hand off, and it can run around and for some reason jump on people's heads and control them. Just go with it. There was a trailer where you saw he does a massive fart. Everybody loves farting. I don't know how that kills people. Well, I suppose if the smell's bad enough. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it's not like the bestest game ever, but I think it's fun. If you want a silly fun game, I think Stubbs the Zombie you can't go too badly wrong with. So once again, thank you to Pink who got this for me over Steam and gifted it to me. I have as well my mod. You can use your head as a bowling ball as well. That's fine. Not one original Xbox. Yeah. Original Xbox. Did I say the X? I don't think I said the Xbox One. I don't think I did. It is definitely the original Xbox. The first Xbox. One Xbox. It is one Xbox, not the Xbox One. I also had my mod, Daddy, who's a good friend, who also popped me over a little bit of money for me buff day. Big thanks to the Daddy. He's a good lad. And that was about it, to be honest. That was it. Thank you for the belated birthday orange. Cheers, Ta. So yeah, nothing desperately special, nothing too cool. I did because there's a Black Friday sale on, I decided to finally pick up the Stream Deck, at least from Amazon, because it was on cheap. Instead of getting the 32 button one, I decided the 15 button one because the 32 button Stream Deck on Amazon.co.uk was like $230. The 15 buttoner is on sale for like £89, and I thought that's such a big difference. I could get two 15 buttons, 15 button stream decks, and it would still be cheaper than getting the 32 button. I was like, okay, well, fuck it. I'll just get the 15 button, see how well it does me, and I can work from there, right? Let's just do that. I won't be getting it until January because, the stream deck's fucking popular. Excuse me. And I guess that's just when Amazon's going to get it in stock. So fine, whatever. I also picked up and have been playing on stream Warhammer Dark Tide, the good game that it is. If you've played Vermintide or Left 4 Dead, the Stream Deck, not the Steam Deck. No, the Stream Deck. The Elgato Stream Deck. I don't want a Steam Deck. I don't give a shit about a Steam Deck. The Stream Deck is, if you didn't know what it is, okay, I'll mention what it is. If you didn't know what a Stream Deck is, a Stream Deck is basically a product made by Elgato where you have 50, well, for the one I have, 15 buttons which you can program to do specific things. Right, so if I want a sound effect to go off, I can press a button and they're macro keys effectively, but they have an LCD in them, so you can have multiple pages of them, and each time you kind of change the page, the LCD image will change on them. So if I wanted to have like a fart effect, I could have that. If I pressed a button again, it could change it to like, let's say I had multiple expressions for my zombie VTuber model, my PNG model, it would switch the expressions on there. So it wouldn't have to go through, I wouldn't have to go through like extra programs. I could just have it here on my desk and press a button and then bada bing, bada boom. It's a very useful streaming tool. So that's what I've gone for there. Like I say, the other thing I went for was Warhammer Dark Tide. If you pre-ordered it, you got access to the open beta. So it's in the beta stage at the moment. If you played Left 4 Dead, as I was saying before, or Vermintide or games like that, it's that kind of game. Set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. I'm enjoying it so far. The beta is more limited, obviously, because not everything's done. And as the weeks go on, more and more things are going to be added. I like the combat so far. I like the setting. They've got the atmosphere down. If you played Vermintide, it plays like Vermintide, but better. The classes, I haven't played all the classes. I've played as the Ogryn, who's the big guy. I've played as the Zealot. And I've played as the Psyker. The Psyker is basically a wizard class who can pop people's brains from long distance. I feel that they're going to get more interesting as you level them up. At the moment, they feel different, but they don't feel distinct because you have like a basic gun, which pretty much all of them, bar the Ogryn, can wield. And as you level up, you'll get more specialized weapons. Like the Zealot can use flamethrowers. I don't think the other ones can. The Ogryn can have like a giant shield. Like a riot shield. So if you find a lot of range units, if you want to have like a riot shield, you can just hold up the shield and just kind of slowly push forward. It's kind of that idea. So it's like, it's fun. It's fun. And I like Warhammer games generally. I see it's got mixed reviews at the moment, but it's not even technically out. So I'm not really sure why. Refund because of poor optimization will come back when they fix it. After all these years, they finally added dedicated server weights. Oh yeah, there's been some server issues here and there, but I think people need to remember this is a beta. It's currently a beta. It's not finished yet. I did have some issues yesterday while playing it on stream, but again, I kind of shrugged my shoulders and go, it's a beta. Who fucking cares? If it's this bad on release, then fair enough. The complaints will be justified then. But even then, most games at this point come out and they're a bit buggy and broken anyway. Not that that's an excuse, it's just something you just kind of come to realize, especially if you're an early adopter. But yeah, Dark Tide, I'm enjoying it so far. Have I been up to anything else? I think the answer is no. I've just been... I've gone back to watching Deep Space Nine, because I was like, you know what? I think it's time to watch some more Deep Space Nine. So I've started from season 4, of course. And it's still good, boys. Woo. I was going to watch the episode Visitor last night, but then I went, I'm not watching Visitor. Visitor being the one where Jake loses his dad, and he gets dragged through time. And then by the end of the episode, Jake has to kill himself to save his dad and reset time. Very sad episode. And I was like, yep, Not watching that one. I'm not gonna feel super emotional and sad before I go to sleep tonight. No, sorry, Bob. Let's not do that to myself. So I watched a different episode instead, because DS9. Whew, damn it! Every time I go back, every now and again when I go back to Deep Space Nine, I go, fuck, this is a good show. It's still good. It's still so enjoyable to just sit down and watch that series, man. Whew, sheesh. And has there been anything else? Oh, I guess the other stuff I did was I watched Earthrise, which we're not going to talk about because we're going to wait for next week when more people have seen it and hopefully I have someone to bounce my thought Putins off of. So, chat, if you have any questions for me, again, slap them into the chat and I'll answer them. But if you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch and YouTube as Decayed Andy, as in a rotten, fleshy corpse of a person, not a 10-year period. You can find the podcast on the Moonbase 2 forums on Twitter, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, and YouTube. But on YouTube, we're a Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast, which some people are watching at the moment. You can see us stream live on my Decayed Andy Twitch channel and YouTube, and the Moonbase 2 YouTube channel on Sundays at 8 o'clock UK time. And you can find us at the ccbunker.weebly.com if you want to go and get us that way. If you can leave reviews for us on your podcasting places, or like and share and subscribe. Ooh. I hate doing that, but commenting and liking apparently does help. So I hate asking, but it does help. Anything to help bump up the numbers would be greatly appreciated. If not, there's also the Patreon, patreon.com/moonbase2. If you do $2 each month, you get the extended version of From the Files of Teletran 2 when Mikey's around to do the comics. And you also get the Moonbase Woo Woo, where I talk about more transformery things I talk about non-transformery things in more detail. So, I don't see any questions in the chat, and I think I've covered everything that was around today, unfortunately. Again, I'm sorry, guys, short show, but without anybody to kind of bounce my brain off. It's gonna be, so hopefully I'll have somebody next week to talk with. But everything fell into the wrong place once again this week like it did last week. But I don't want to do 3 weeks in a row on my own. So hopefully next week we'll have somebody, whether it be Mikey, whether it be Jason, or Brad, or even disgusting, deviant, sexy Gruff. Who knows, right? Hopefully we'll have another guy on the show for next week's show. But until then, thank you very much, everybody, for coming on by. Hope you've had a very good day, good evening, and a good night. Of course, I'm dead on the inside, and I'm dead on the outside. And I'm going to end this stream here and say thank you, guys, for coming on by. And until next time, I will see you suckers next time. Bye-bye, everybody. See you at the Moonbase 2. Bye-bye.